How to install the beautiful Gridscape swing door with inline panel. Before starting, make sure you have all the necessary hardware and tools to properly install your door. The first step is to measure the curb opening along the center line and trim the sill to fit. Center the sill with the weep holes to the inside of the enclosure and tape it down to prevent movement. Next, identify which side you want the door and inline panel to be on. The door is reversible. It can be installed on the left or right side, and it can be hinged from the wall or from the inline panel. Now set the inline panel wall jamb into the sill against the designated inline panel side. Make sure the jamb is plumb and mark the location of the pre-drilled holes onto the wall. Drill installation holes with a 3/16" masonry bit. Once the holes are drilled, insert the plastic screw anchors. Set the jamb back into the sill and secure it in place with screws in each hole. Repeat these steps for the door panel wall jamb on the opposite side. Once the jambs are secured, you'll set the inline panel into the sill and push it onto the jamb until it's tightly in place. Make sure the metal grids are facing to the outside of the shower. Insert covers into the inner channel of the open edges of the inline panel and the door jamb. Next, measure the shower opening on the top of the door jamb and the inline panel. Then, trim the header to fit. Place the header over the jamb and inline panel. Next, measure the distance between the door jamb and the inline panel at the header and trim the header cover accordingly. Snap the cover into place with the flange toward the inside of the enclosure. Do the same at the bottom. Measure between the door jamb and the inline panel and trim the sill cover accordingly. Make sure the lip of the sill cover is toward the outside of the enclosure. Now, install the strike post opposite to the door hinge location into the outside channel. Make sure the magnet is facing the outside of the enclosure with the polarity line away from the door opening. Note, the strike post will sit on top of the sill dam and the header cover rests on top of the strike post. The next step is to install the door panel by first inserting the door hinge post into the outside channel of the door jamb or inline panel. Insert the door panel by swinging it open to the outside of the enclosure with the metal grid facing out. Give the door a couple of test swings to make sure it's working properly. Check for correct clearance and alignment of the magnetic closure. If needed, adjust the unit at the strike post and door hinge post. Once you're satisfied with the door, secure the door hinge, inline panel, and strike post from the inside of the enclosure. Drill a pilot hole at 1/4 inch from the edge at each screw location. Screws should be placed at 5 inches from the top and bottom and at the center. Next, secure the header and sill from inside the enclosure with 3 screws. Place screws at each wall jamb and the panel frame at center. Drill a pilot hole at 1/4 inch from the edge at each screw location. Once the sill and header are secured, you're ready to install the door handle. Loosen the set screws and separate the inside handle. Slip a washer and bushing onto each cone head screw. Insert 1 screw through the upper hole from the inside of the enclosure. Slip a second washer onto the screw. Tighten the screw into the outside handle and repeat for the second screw. Then slide the inside handle over the cone head screws and tighten the set screws. Now, insert the sweep into the channel at the bottom of the drip rail and pull through. Trim any excess and re-notch. Then, insert the left-right drip rail plug into each end. On the hinge side, punch out the center of the plug to allow water to drain. Tape the drip rail against the bottom of the door, extending 1/2 inch on the hinge side. Adjust the height of the drip rail to 1 inch down from the horizontal rail. Make sure the drip rail is angled at a slope downward toward the door hinge to ensure excess water flows out. Then secure the drip rail with screws to the door. Last but not least, seal your new shower door with mildew-resistant caulking on the outside perimeter of the sill and wall jambs and at each end of the sill cover. Your brand new Gridscape shower door is now ready for use.